All right, here we go.
It's time for Pod of the Dead. Join us!
Hello, and welcome back to Pod of the Dead, the Internet Horror Film Club. Film Club is no longer, but I am your humble curator, Nicholas, and on today's episode, we are going to be covering the 1990 exploitation, sleazy, B-movie, body horror, whatever, science fiction. You can just slap so many things on this movie. We're covering Frankenhooker. So on today's episode, I am joined by Brian Dunn. Brian, hello. Thank you for coming to the podcast.
Hello, friends. Thanks for having me.
So this was actually suggested by you many moons ago to cover for the podcast.
Yeah, I love A, terrible schlocky films, B, just random weird stuff.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head with that one.
Yeah, this film is completely that.
So what is your history with this film?
So I heard about this only like a few years ago, and I was like, wow, that sounds completely stupid. And led me to one night at 2 a.m.
This is the proper way to watch it.
yeah, this is just sitting there and like, I wonder if there's like any like trailers for that weird Frankenhooker film. Oh, YouTube had the whole thing up for free at the time. Someone had just illegally uploaded it. I was like, well, all right, sure enough. I sat there and watched it for an hour and a half. I was like, well, that was fun.
Yeah, it's one to keep in your pocket. Like it's, you're sitting around with some people and everything. Oh, I love Shaun of the Dead. Oh, I love this. It's like, you ever seen Frankenhooker? It's like, what did you just fucking say? It's like, you heard me.
Yeah, no, anyone I talked to that I like are my horror movie friends that I've mentioned this film to are like, what the hell are you talking about? Why would I watch that?
Well, that's a problem.
Yeah, because I've got horror movie friends that range from the people who are like, I need psychological horror or it's nothing, to people who love every Rob Zombie film, and I think they need help.
Yeah. So, Frankenhooker is a 1990 American black comedy horror film co-written and directed by Frank Henenlotter, and we will get back to this guy in a second. So, Frank Henenlotter made this loosely inspired by Mary Shelley's 1818 novel Frankenstein, or the modern Prometheus. The film stars James Lorenz as a medical school dropout, Jeffrey Franken, and former Penthouse pet Patty Mullen as the title character. So this movie is made by Frank Henenlotter. Frank Henenlotter is most notably known for doing, like, he was an American film director, screenwriter, film historian. He's known for directing horror comedies, especially the Basket Case series.
God.
Brain Damage, and then Frankenhooker. Despite being known as a horror filmmaker, Henenlotter has expressed a preference for being classified as an exploitation filmmaker. So exploitation being like, we're going to grab one thing and we're going to exploit it. So this one is sex. We're going to exploit. This movie is literally sex, drugs, and like, just, that's it. Like, I mean, we got supercrack, we got prostitute, fucking Frankenstein's monster. Like, come on.
We've got. So I caught this on the second time I viewed this, and it's right in the first like 2 minutes of Jeffrey. The stuff where he works at, why he worked there, was to bring home a ginormous spark plug.
Oh yeah, it's like a fucking like transformer piece from the electrical lines. Like,
so to me, like, I catch it at all that I was supposed to be a transformer piece. I just saw a giant spark plug. I was like, oh my god, this is so fucking dumb.
Well, the first time you see him, he's just at the kitchen table during a barbecue working on a brain with an eye, and everyone's like, what's that? And he's like, I don't know yet. Like, and so he just happened to make, like, it's so absurd.
I love the fact that it's just never addressed as to, isn't it weird he does this? It's just Jeffrey.
Do you think we should call the cops? No, no, no. That's just boys being boys. So I was blown away. So from the point that this movie was inceptualized by Henenlotter, it took 12 years to make. So
How?
so can you imagine coming up with this idea and just being like, nah, man, I'm making this motherfucker.
Can you imagine that being your excuse for 12 years?
I know, right?
Like, I can't go to the birthday party this weekend. I gotta do some stuff for Frankenhooker.
Oh, I know. And like, well, he improvised the basic story at a pitch meeting. After getting the okay to make the picture, he then wrote the script. So he was just like, so there's this electrician and lawnmower accident and just ridiculous.
Creates the perfect woman because he's a piece of shit.
Oh yeah. Like it's and what's really crazy too is like nowadays, like it's not even close to shocking, you know, like considering what is it's hard to believe that even in 1990 that it was shocking because it's so schlocky and like there's barely any actual blood in this movie. There's a lot of fireworks explosions.
I don't think there's any blood in this film.
There is blood when Elizabeth gets run over by the lawnmower and it splatters on a lawn gnome. That's all.
That's right. But that's it.
That's it. Like the rest of it is just like severed boobs with like red paint on the back. Like, but not even wet.
There's no blood when he is sitting there drilling his brain
to scratch his brain, I guess. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, so this movie, I didn't know about this. So you've got your ratings board, right? They've got G, PG, PG-13, R, and X. I didn't know that there actually was a rating of S. So S is what this film was like threatened to be given, which S is a certification. It cannot be viewed by the public. Only people associated with doctors and scientists are permitted to view these films. So they're like medical films are rated S. So like when it was initially the initial release was delayed because of the difficulty of obtaining an R rating from the MPAA. The director recalls that one representative of the ratings body actually said in a phone call that the production was going to be rated S, and his secretary was like, "Congratulations, the film is rated S. S for sex? No, S for shit."
So only doctors and medical people. Is this like, so guys, this is what you don't do when like a training video.
Yeah, like it at no point is there any sort of like reality in any of the gore or the science that he's like literally drawing like electrical schematics over a body. Like, which I really like the intro, like the intro credits of him doing that. That's really cool. Like I really like that feel. It the whole intro of this movie, before even doing research, gave me the vibes of Reanimator. And then it's kind of interesting to see that that was one of the influences of this film was Reanimator, obviously the original Frankenstein. But yeah, it just has this weird, it's up to opinion whether it's as good or not as Reanimator. I hold Reanimator to a high regard personally, but I can see why people would love this movie more, because at no point is this movie trying to make sense.
No, it's not. And I'm sitting here trying to think of who is the worst person. And I think I'm leaning Jeffrey. I think Jeffrey is a worse person than I cannot think of the character's name in Reanimator.
Oh God. Herbert West.
Yeah.
Well, Herbert West has like, he literally has the Frankenstein vibe of the mad scientist. This guy, I don't, at no point does he like strike me as a scientist. He literally is an electrician that does like he gave his girlfriend like surgery on the side. They say like it's so
Yeah.
like you let him like cut on you. It's like, well, I love him, so of course I would. It's like so fucking outside like baseball. It's fucking weird.
I feel so bad for her because even before he's like, I'm gonna rebuild her, but with the best parts, he's still a piece of shit to her. He's like,
Oh yeah.
oh, your ass is too big, and I'm just like, that's a full meal, Jeffrey. You need to get the fuck out of here.
So, another thing that was kind of interesting in this, I didn't realize it. Well, not realize, but watching it this time, I didn't realize that the company that made this film was later bought by Troma. So, Troma is founded by Lloyd Kaufman and Michael Hertz. It was founded in 1974, and it is the longest running independent film studio in the world. So, this Lloyd Kaufman is like, you'll love him or hate him.
Grossest director ever.
Yeah. So like Troma is responsible for like The Toxic Avenger and its sequels, Class of Nukem High, Sergeant Kabuki Man, NYPD, Tromeo and Juliet, Terror Firmer, Poultrygeist, Night of the Chicken Dead. All these like crazy exploitation, comedy, horror, blender, parody, gore, splatter films. Like all this kind of shit. And then later down the road, you know, this film came out in 1990, and over the years, you know, different companies got the distribution rights and stuff. And in I think it was 2021, Troma snatched up like the rights for that entire company. It was just like, okay, this is it. And what shocked me was I always thought this was a Troma film. This feels very Troma.
Oh, it does. I mean, Lloyd Kaufman's what I can't even think what it's called now. Pandemic check buying him Frankenhooker, all of its rights and everything, so he can have the Troma Cinematic Universe Avengers or something.
Yeah,
let's go.
Frankenhooker and Toxic Avenger and Sergeant Kabuki Man. Like, goddamn, I haven't seen Sergeant Kabuki Man in forever. So
I know of him. I have never seen a Sergeant Kabuki Man film.
It's weird.
Which is excellent.
Like, yes. So what do you think the budget for this film was?
They had to keep people on the line for 12 years.
Well, it didn't take 12 years to shoot, just from inception of the idea.
Oh.
To it coming out in 1990. So he basically came up with this in like 78. And then it took forever to get every little piece in line.
Except for the story, you know.
Yeah. Stories. I mean, realistically, in this kind of stuff, nobody's watching it for like the narrative. It's just like, how ridiculous is this movie going to get?
Man, this film is low budget as it can be. I'm going to say 2.5 mil.
You are exactly on the dot. It was made for 2.5 million in 1990.
Yeah.
And
there's nothing that could have put this film any higher.
Well, I thought it was way less, and then I look it up. I'm like, where did $2.5 million go? Because,
dude, all those plastic legs.
I guess
that bin of plastic legs right there.
It cost a lot of money to get that freezer full of estrogen-based like reagent or whatever he was calling it.
Yeah, that grape Kool-Aid with the lava lamp sitting in the bottom of it.
Oh hell yeah! So this did get on its $2.5 million budget. It did actually get a theatrical release, which is amazing. Not that it was everywhere, but it did get a theatrical release. So in 1990, I can see this being on like the shadier, like not shady, well, maybe like the porn theaters and stuff like that. But like realistically, like the smaller ones that are just like willing to get it for next to nothing, you know, run it for a week or two. So on its
Pee Wee Herman saw Frankenhooker in the theaters.
God damn right. On its $2.5 million budget, it made $200,000. Which is like what I thought the budget was.
Yeah. So
But yeah, so this movie, all right, 1990, I feel so old saying this, we are 35 years removed from this film now.
it was made months after I was born.
So we are going to try and recast it for a 2025 Frankenhooker revival coming to a theater near you. Okay.
Thank God.
So-
It's about time.
I know it's about time that,
If the strangers can get this done, Frankenhooker can get this done.
that's you're goddamn right. We're doing a co-production with Trauma, we're going to get this out there, So, would you like to start your dream recasting of this film?
Yeah. So Lloyd Kaufman's forking out that film money this time around because my whole idea is this is a claymation film. So we got Tim Burton.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Frankenhooker as claymation. That's ridiculous.
So for Elizabeth herself, since she's the titular character that doesn't do jack shit in the film, I would want a younger Carrie Fisher.
Okay.
She's willing to make fun of herself, willing to put on the goofy faces and everything. Carrie Fisher, I think, I guess it doesn't matter if it's claymation.
Yeah.
But yeah. And I only casted her, Zorro, and Jeffrey. Like,
yeah, that's what I did as well.
I was like, I don't care who plays Jeffrey's mom for the one scene.
Yeah.
For Jeffrey himself, I was like, who's creepy and off-putting enough for me to want him to play just a terrible character? And it was Adam Driver.
Oh God, that fits. That really does fit. Is he just doing his Kylo Ren?
Yeah, he's just Adam Driver is Adam Driver is in everything he does. I'm sure he's a nice guy, whatever. He's just off-putting to me.
Yeah. So we've got Adam Driver as Jeffrey at the kitchen table.
Yeah. You can just splice some scenes from Star Wars in there and they'll still fit.
It's just him yelling all the time.
Yes.
Ah!
And listen, Zorro is like the only other person who's a character in this.
Yeah.
And for that, I had to go to the classic bad man doing things, and that's Danny Trejo.
Oh, I could see that 100%. Machete coming in hot.
Yeah. Can I see Danny Trejo being a pimp? Even like, so that I feel like this cast also almost works in a live action version.
Yeah.
But like, there's something about Danny Trejo who seems like the nicest guy in the world.
Oh, he is. I've seen like interviews of him. Like he owns like a pit bull rescue and stuff like that. Like he seems like the realest dude ever.
Yeah. But he also just looks wise based on like, just how you see him. Seems like a piece of shit scummy guy.
Oh yeah, he just looks like, that's the guy. And that's what is really interesting is like that's kind of how he originally was cast in a lot of stuff. But then like you actually get to know the guy. It's like he just looks rough. He's not a rough guy. It's like the whole judging a book by its cover kind of thing.
Yeah, he's the epitome of that.
Yeah. All right. That is an interesting I'm looking very much forward to claymation Frankenhooker.
It's claymation stop motion Frankenhooker to be just I just think it works.
Yeah, why not? So mine is my director is Steven Kostansky. That name may not ring a bell, but he is the director of Psycho Gorman. He is the director of The Void. So he's the director, I believe, of Frankie Frico. All this shit, like all this like weird, he can go all over the place. So that's what I'm getting my director. Psycho Gorman being the reason for the season. We're taking that energy for Frankenhooker. My Elizabeth for this is considering they went with like someone that wasn't most notably an actor or actress rather, with a playmate or a penthouse penthouse pet. I'm going with someone that has acted a little bit but also plays I don't want to say interesting characters, but it's definitely typecast. I'm going with Paris Hilton as my Elizabeth.
Oh.
So we're going House of Wax style with this.
Are you cutting off her fingers in this too?
No, just blowing her up with a chainsaw or with a mower.
A lawnmower.
And then she's just going to be like, want a date? My Jeff is going, like, I'm kind of going a different route with my Jeff. I wanted someone weirdly charismatic, but like, you know, you could see him being a little shady, and I'm casting him as Sam Rockwell as my Jeff. So like someone that's like fun to watch, but also can be fucking really weird.
As a person who lives under a rock, I have no clue who Sam Rockwell
Oh God,
is.
Sam Rockwell. You would know him mostly as in Iron Man 2. He's the arms dealer.
Oh God. Yeah.
There's plenty of other movies that I could cite, but that's probably one of the biggest ones that most people know. Like he's in 7 Psychopaths and 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, and he's been in plenty of films. Moon, he's in Moon. If you've ever seen that, it's like a sci-fi film. It's fucking great.
So the movie I've seen the most with him is Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah, fuck. Yeah, I forgot that he was in that. Yeah, he's great in that too. But that character right there as Jeff.
I fuck with this.
And then we're going to have to go back. We're going to have to use like our own reagent to bring back my Zorro, because my Zorro is going to be played by Bonesaw himself, Macho Man Randy Savage. Full suit and all. Slim Jim suit and everything.
I was going to say, is he still going to be dressed like Freddie Mercury? Or
He's going to be like, now I hear you want to do a party, man. Okay.
Come on, Jersey boy. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Zorro's bitches don't fucking go that way, man. Well, and like, once I wrote that, I almost went with Miss Elizabeth to play Elizabeth. But I digress.
Too real.
Yes, too real. So that's my version of this film. But yeah, fucking this movie is a trip. Like, there was an age where this was my shit. Like, but I haven't gotten, what's the way to put it? My tastes on like schlocky films, like legit schlock, like Z films. I haven't found any in recent memory that I was just like, that's fucking awesome. The last one was Psycho Goreman. So, my appreciation or whatever for this movie has definitely waned over the years. Like, it's not bad. I would suggest it if you haven't seen it, because it's under an hour and a half. Like, you're not going to waste your time on it, but like also it's just right in the title. If Frankenhooker is not interesting to you as a title, then you're not going to like it.
Yeah, there's it is everything it says on the label, and it's in and out. And I only saw this movie for the first time a few years ago, and it's one of those films that, as I said, just weird title, weird film. I'm repeating myself, in and out again. But yeah, it's a fun time. Is it a good film? God, no.
It works best with a group of people, to be honest. Like, sitting there by yourself to watch this, whatever it hits, like, even if you have a great time by yourself, it's going to be amplified watching it with more people.
This is a community popcorn film.
Yeah. So this movie's like beloved by people, hated by people, right? So I found a 1 out of 10 review for this film. And let's see.
Which is probably written by a Philistine.
So let's not beat around the bush. This is the worst film I have ever seen. The acting is abominable, and so is the plot. In fact, everything about this so-called movie is disgraceful. Even from the opening scene of an electrician fiddling around with a brain, it went from terrible too atrocious to stick your head into rotting roadkill to avoid seeing the video bad. Okay. I watched this movie because my roommate was looking for a fun film, and when a guy at the video store highly recommended Frankenhooker to my roommate's mind, his mind was made. The only thing I'm grateful for are that I didn't pay for this film and that I got to catch up with friends while watching. If this movie were food, it would be scarab beetle soup made with elephant pee and donkey vomit, and garnished with toenail clippings from a long dead soldier from World War One. So they loved it.
Yeah, I mean, this is an obvious, this is their Green Mile or something.
Yeah, I really, they went into, like, they were pretty creative with their disdain for this film, so we got that going for us.
Yeah, but I can't believe you would sit there and be like, have any expectations for a film called Frankenhooker first.
Well, see, and that's the thing, though, is, so this goes a couple different ways. It wasn't their choice, nor was it the roommate's choice. This was suggested to them from the family video. Like, hey, I'm looking for a fun movie. Frankenhooker. You gotta watch Frankenhooker. I'm very interested in, like, what led to that. Like, did this roommate give, like, a listing of films that they're like, I really like this, that, and the other, and then they got to Frankenhooker? Or they're like, I'm looking for something fun to watch with some friends. Frankenhooker! You gotta watch Frankenhooker! It's like, okay, I can see that.
That's the best guy to have at your family video. Because he's watched everything,
yes.
And he's going to at least give you something that's wild.
Oh yeah. Like, I can't imagine, like I said, I'd seen this before. I can't imagine a person hearing that title and not understanding what you're getting. Realistically. Yeah. Like, that's the thing. Like, I can understand not liking the movie or even hating the movie, but, like, what did you honestly expect with Frankenhooker?
I expected the moon, and I only got a piece of cheese.
I was really expecting this to be like Schindler's List or maybe The Godfather, and what I got was fucking Frankenhooker. Yes, it's in the title.
I wanted a breakdown of misogyny and sex work, and all I got was the misogyny.
But I love the fact that he, like, just steals a thing of crack. Like, mind you, he's only an electrician, right? He's not a chemist. He's not a biologist. He's not a surgeon.
He's been thrown out of med school 4 times.
Something in Jersey, man. Like, he just gets some crack and makes supercrack that blows up a hamster and then blows up a bunch of prostitutes.
Spoilers, the hamster dies.
Yes, yeah. Sorry, guys. Sorry. But yeah, I really, like, I just keep coming back to it. I cannot imagine not knowing what you're getting into. Like, if I wasn't into, like, schlocky stuff and I saw the title Frankenhooker, I'd be like, no, I'm going to go do something else.
Yeah. That's it. There's no surprises in the title.
Like, no, and there's barely surprises in the film. It goes the way you expect. The one surprise that I did have is at the end when all of the body parts come back to life, and they're like these weird amalgamations. It looks like stuff from, like, the movie Society or even fucking Basket Case. It has that feel to it.
Oh, yeah, it's the most disturbing part of the film.
Yeah. They drag Zorro into the thing, and they have their way with him, whatever that may be.
Well, they also needed the crack he left.
Yes, they need more crack. Like, and that's the thing. Like, you don't, for better or worse, you don't get these kind of films anymore. And I'm not saying, like, Frankenhooker, but, like, there is something about that, like, New York, New Jersey 80s, early 90s, sleazy, grimy. Like, there's like a layer of street filth on this movie. And I'm not taking a shot at, like, sex workers and stuff. There's something about the way the film is shot and everything. Like, you don't have it anymore. And it's probably because they cleaned up, like, Times Square and stuff like that, like, but that vibe you don't get anymore.
Yeah, that just general, I want to say almost like an unsafe environment.
Yeah.
But you talk about this in other shows you've done with how this movie feels dirty, where everything else puts a green filter over everything.
Correct. Yeah, this just is there. Like, it's in the set dressing. Like, they probably just found some fucking buildings and shot in this building and in that building. They didn't like do it in post. There's nothing in post. It's all just the only post is just hard cuts of a prostitute to a dummy of a prostitute with fireworks going off inside of her.
Whoa. What about the realistic purple lightning? Come on.
Yeah, oh, I'm sorry. I did forget there was some crayon purple lightning.
$2.5 million for that purple lightning.
Goddamn right. Purple nips. Like, yeah. I mean, come on. So,
do you want a 10 out of 10? Because I did find one.
Let's hear what they have to say. What the person that has the Frankenhooker poster in their room. I want to hear what they have to say about this.
So, perfect title for it. 2 words: exploding hookers.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Wow, I cannot tell you what that word is. Henenlotter classic.
Yeah, Henenlotter. Yeah, that's
yeah, that's right. That's his. That's why I'm trying to think of this as like, it's like a hedonism word or something like that. No, Henenlotter. Perfect. Now I know. This is one of Bill Murray's favorite movies. I remember reading in a Fangoria article with Henenlotter telling Bill Murray constantly catching screenings of this film. And who could hate Video Box that had a button to press to hear "Want a Date"?
Yeah.
10 out of 10, pure classic.
Yeah, the original box for this had a button you could press and just go, "Want a date? Want a date?"
Dude, that's fantastic. I almost want to find that just because that is so fucking silly.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Those 90s, late 80s fucking VHS boxes that, like, they had the covers that, like, depending on how you looked at it, it would change. You don't get that stuff anymore. You don't get the "Want a Date" boxes anymore. But yeah, Bill Murray was quoted as saying, if you see one movie this year, it should be Frankenhooker. Henenlotter said that Murray had been editing his film Quick Change and hung out with the Frankenhooker crew. After Murray expressed interest in their film, the distributor attempted to get endorsements from him. Embarrassed that they would abuse Murray's friendliness, Henenlotter attempted to avoid Murray. When they eventually ran into each other, Henenlotter apologized and explained that he was not responsible for that. And satisfied with the explanation, Murray volunteered a quotation. So they're like probably on the DVD copy or whatever. It's just, if you see one movie this year, it should be Frankenhooker, Bill Murray.
Imagine the film we would have gotten if Zorro turned around and it was Bill Murray,
or any character. Maybe this is a one-man show where he plays Elizabeth, Zorro, and Jeff.
Can I change my recasting right now?
There you go. Let's go. So, yeah. Fuck. It's one of those movies. There's not a lot to be said about this movie because it just is what it is. But I do want to read my favorite quote from this movie. So when Jeff pops in his VHS tape of the newscasting of Elizabeth's death, a newscaster, this is the most unhinged thing I have ever heard. What began as a birthday barbecue ended in a bizarre tragedy in Hohokus, New Jersey today. It was this power mower that brought a quick end to the life of 21-year-old bride-to-be Elizabeth Shelley. Like wood through a mulcher, the girthful fiance disappeared beneath the blades of the berserk mower that sent her personality raining down upon the birthday revelers. In a blaze of blood, bones, and body parts, the vicious young girl was instantly reduced to a tossed human salad, a salad that police are still trying to gather up, a salad that once was named Elizabeth. That is so fucking unhinged.
I was gonna say it's like I remember that part and the cop saying it's like trying to put together a jigsaw.
Yeah, it just keeps like holding on his face as we haven't found all the parts. It's yeah, if you haven't seen it, this is like viewable on Peacock, which is mind blowing. And a super good fucking transfer. Like it's like a 2K, maybe 4K. Like it is. I was blown away because like you see like the trauma like kind of card and everything. It's like, oh man, this might be like a VHS rip, because there are some times that's the transfer you get. And then I was like, holy shit, this is clean as fuck. And it's still okay. Bear with me. It still looked good. Like, since it's all practical effects, yes, the heads and like the fucking prostitutes exploding, but at the same time, it still looked like probably what he was going for.
Yeah, film quality versus, you know, the actual like money and quality of the props.
Yeah,
are two different things in this case.
Exactly. Yeah, like this is like, if you haven't seen it and you know, you got the holidays coming up, 4th of July, right? You're out fucking hanging out, eating some burgers, maybe you're having some drinks, fucking packing some bowls, whatever. And some people are just like having a good time. It's like, you want to watch something fucking dumb? Yeah, I do. All right, let's fucking throw on Frankenhooker. Like, I'm going to suggest this to like my older kids to have in their pocket to be like, you want some street cred, kids?
You want the film that's gonna make you and your college dorm friends who like bought beer illegally have fun tonight?
Yeah,
there you go.
Frankenhooker. It's fun for the whole family. Bring grandma.
Yeah.
Well, because like realistically, it's for how much nudity and stuff in this film there is. Like, it exploits the fact of that. Like, it's got that sex comedy feel of like, you know, Porky's and all that, like where it's just like, oh, there's nudity, there's all this, but it never gets like rapey or anything like that. Like, they kind of gang raped him. Maybe I don't know what's going on in that scene.
And they're just bouncing on him.
Yeah,
fully clothed, and he's like, don't smoke the crack.
Yeah, not the super crack. Yeah, like it never gets that way. He literally is like driving up on like Skid Row, picking up hookers specifically to kill them. But even then, it's not done in like a fucking vicious way. It's just this oath, just like, oh, this is what I got to do to get my girlfriend back.
Yeah, this is an idiot who lucked into finding out how to recreate human life.
Yeah, I want that. How did God, like, there's so much. It's just ridiculous. The more you try to think about it, the more ridiculous it gets. It's like, so he somehow made this estrogen base, and that's very important because at the end of the movie, he himself is decapitated by Zorro, and then fucking Elizabeth puts his body on a female body, of which he was strapped into that for 5 hours during shooting and had to basically piss in cups to get.
But my thought is, now I don't remember, does that body at the end have any stitches anywhere?
It doesn't look like it. I don't know where
Elizabeth went out and killed a random person.
Possibly.
Decapitated them. Yeah. Because the rest of the bodies that he had are all amalgamated with Zorro in the deep freeze.
Yeah. I have no idea where that came from, because if he would have had that body well, maybe he did. Maybe he had that whole body, but it didn't have all the parts that he wanted, because that's the thing. He was like, I want the tits from this one and the leg from this one and all this. And Elizabeth is just, she's more like, you know what? I want Jeff to live.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Did they ever say why her face is painted like stark white at the end when she finally becomes Frankenhooker?
It never explains it. The only thing that I guess you can make sense of is she was dead longer. That's it.
I know, but the prosthetic that they show for her head during the film is just flesh toned.
Oh, I know. Yeah. It isn't.
No blood flow to that part of the body. Got it.
And my hat is off to like the weird car salesman looking guy that does take Elizabeth up on her proposition, and he's just like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna get some ass tonight." Which we didn't even talk about. Her murderous rampage of electrocuting people.
Electrocuting into explosions.
Yes,
yeah.
yes. It's fucking nuts. But yeah, if you haven't seen this movie, I would suggest to check it out, only because I can't think of another movie that does this. Like, I mean, yes, you've got Frankenstein movies, you've got sleazy films, you've got all, but like it is a singular thing, this movie. Like Frank Henenlotter's like grime on this movie of early 90s, late 80s Jersey. Like this movie is Jersey as fuck.
Which more makes me think it should have just been a trauma film from the start.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. This fits in right with fucking all that shit, you know?
Trauma Avengers 2027.
I would 100%. I would, if I was like at a like horror convention or whatever, and they were doing like a late night screening of this, I would 100% go to it, because that would be a blast. Like the people that have fun with this kind of shit, those are the kind of people you want to hang out with.
It's the same thing as like the Rocky Horror Picture Live crowd.
Yeah. Like I've watched that movie on my own, not a fan of it. I've watched that movie with people that like it, and it's better that way. Like, because you can live vicariously through them. Their enjoyment makes you enjoy it more than you normally would.
Yeah.
That's why I suggest with this. 2 a.m. like you did, with a group of people. You got to be awake, though. This is not a movie. Like, you're not going to like it if you're like tired. You know, like you have to be in that mode.
Yeah. Just wait until the Guillermo del Toro Frankenstein film is just a recreation of this.
Yeah, which he said is not. He said it flat out. It's not going to be a horror film. So I'm afraid that he's going to go more like The Shape of Water, which is one of his films. I'm obviously wrong. It won Film of the Year, I believe, the year that it came out. It's my least favorite of his films.
It's going to be more whimsy.
Yeah. That's fine. Not every movie needs to be for me.
That's fair. Every film needs to be for me, though. You fuck this up, Toro. We're gonna have issues.
Well,
I already haven't seen The Shape of Water, and I don't think you had anything to do with the Pacific Rim sequel.
No, I didn't watch that. I love the first one, but that's because it's like, what does Nick want? Big robot versus big monster. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. Like, I've watched that movie so many times, and the last few times I watched it, I literally just fast forwarded to the battle sequences. I was like, I don't care about the rest. I like Idris Elba. It like has nothing to do with that, but it's like, I know why I'm here.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to get into the giant monster film discussion. That's not for this episode.
Oh yeah, we'll cover some kaiju stuff in the future, maybe.
Ooh.
But all right, so this is our first installment of summer camp for the month of June, maybe. Who knows? Maybe it goes longer, maybe it goes shorter. But we're going to cover some more exploitation, campy, maybe camp centric. Maybe it's set at a camp. Who knows?
Ooh, sleepaway camp.
Oh God, there's one that maybe we'll cover. I turned my daughter Sydney onto, that is a campy musical slasher from the 80s. Have you ever seen Slumber Party Massacre 2?
I have heard of it. I have never seen it.
It is absurd, and Sydney was losing her fucking mind over this movie when we were watching it.
I won't lie. You said all those words together, and I was like, oh my God, if he drops Nudist Colony of the Dead, which is a musical about a nudist colony getting turned into zombies. And I don't think there's actually any nudity in it.
Well, like there's a whole subsect, and that now maybe we're Poultrygeist, Night of the Chicken Living Dead is a musical, full-fledged musical.
I never knew this. I always wanted to watch that movie on the premise. I did not know it was a musical.
Do we want to cover Poultrygeist, Night of the Chicken Dead for the next episode?
I have to figure out where to watch it, but
or we can hold it in our back pocket.
Hold it in the back pocket, just because, as I said, I've got some stuff coming up. I will love doing this with you more often, though.
Hell yeah! So, like I said, The film club is over, but we will still be covering films and shit like that. So you're gonna have to check in next week to see what we're going to end up covering. But for Pot of the Dead, I am Nicholas.
I'm Brian.
And come back and listen to us, or else.